The word mercy doesn't actually come up very often in Jewish context. I'm trying to think like what's the Hebrew word, because maybe if I can loop there. I mean, when you were I mean, what you're saying I think makes me think of the word compassion. Is that similar to the word you're using, or can you just say a little bit more about what mercy means for you?
Sure, that's a great question. I think mercy is also honoring in a moment, honoring the image of God, honoring honoring that in someone else in a moment that actually could easily call for anger, and fighting back.
We could use a lot of that.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking in particular, this gets back to Israel stuff, and this is a poignant week for it, because this is the week in which we observe Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, and Yom HaTzmaut, Israel Independence Day. So it's a real opportunity for us to really go at each other and really tear each other apart over who's a self-hating Jew, who's a fascist. To a certain extent, I think the fact that God practically plays such, despite what we say in our liturgy, which increasingly people don't understand because it's in Hebrew often, God doesn't play as much of a role in our synagogues as God maybe once did or should. And I think part of that, thinking about spiritual practice and the traits that we're trying, ideally we should be cultivating in our spiritual growth and spiritual path, I think some of the traits are not humility in a meek way, but the capacity to allow others to have space as we have space ourselves, cultivating patience, really honoring. When we talk about kavod as honor, I mean, that gets a little bit closer to what you're saying. Like, we don't. There have been movements, and we're living in one now in some synagogues to help people cultivate those qualities, recognizing their importance. But because I think we really need it. I think we focus so much on abstract things, on justice in an abstract way that sort of applies to real people, but what's the inner cultivation that work? And I think there are parts of the Jewish world that do that, but I think there's been because it's responding to a lack, and I think maybe we should talk about mercy more. I think that would be really beneficial for us to use that language.